A rapidly growing number of people were developing a dry cough and fever before getting pneumonia. And for some, it turned fatal.
When it comes to the beat, ain't nobody coming for me. Ain't nobody coming for me. Ain't nobody coming for me.
Hey guys.
Oh, hi.
Hello, welcome to the Urban Binge.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Urban Binge on RiBelTV. I am Jay.
I'm Jay.
I'm Rico Bellucci. And we're going to just bring you a little bit of news. We know we don't get a lot of views on our news, but this is what this channel was initially about.
Right.
It was about urban culture news that people might be missing out on. So we have Neighborhood Talk, Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, One Side, all of that. But a lot of them don't have a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. They'll probably be making one soon. So that's what we initially were here for. So show support to our urban culture news, the Urban Binge shows when we post them, guys. Please. Give us some advice on why y'all don't watch them, whoever's watching. So first, of course, everybody know, and I hate to have to start off with this story, but it is what it is right now, and it's the time that we're in.
Ciao.
We are dealing with the
coronavirus.
Yes. And it's a sad situation, unfortunately. So we have some news that maybe a lot of you don't know about.
It was New Year's Eve 2019 when health officials in China admitted they had a problem.
Health authorities have activated their most serious response level after an outbreak of a new type of viral pneumonia
in central China.
I mean, what news don't you know about at this point?
Right.
Because we're all in the house. We can't go anywhere at this point. They're shutting everything down. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think it's in the air.
Yeah, some people are saying that it is airborne, but as of right now, there is no evidence that is to suggest. Coronavirus is actually an animal disease.
A lot of the viruses that make us sick actually originate in animals. Some of the viruses that cause the flu come from birds and pigs.
If you guys don't know that, the origin of coronavirus came from animals.
HIV/AIDS comes from chimpanzees. The deadly Ebola virus likely originates in bats. And in the case of the 2019 coronavirus, there's some evidence it went from a bat to a pangolin before infecting a human.
The reason that it's on your Lysol bottle is because dogs and cats had coronavirus long before humans did.
Right.
That's why this is called the novel human coronavirus, the new human coronavirus. And the coronavirus is a group or a family of viruses that attack species in a certain way.
That's why they say we've had it before.
Right.
Doctors have named the disease COVID-19 or coronavirus disease 2019. When they try to trace its origin, they found a likely source: this food market in Wuhan.
It was not a surprise at all, and I think that it was not a surprise to many scientists.
Out of the first 41 patients, 27 had been here. Chinese officials quickly shut down the market.
So SARS is a coronavirus. I'm sure you guys heard about that when we were very young, in the 90s or whatever. SARS is a coronavirus.
They'd seen this happen before at a place just like this.
Health officials are trying to get a grip on an alarming outbreak of SARS.
The virus originated in mainland China.
It spread across the country.
The disease had been festering for months in southern China.
But zoonosis is the way that it jumps species from animals to humans.
Peter Lee is a professor and expert on China's animal trade.
The cages stacked about one over another. Animals at the bottom are often soaked with all kinds of liquid animal excrement, pus, blood receiving from the animals above.
That's exactly how a virus can jump from one animal to another. If that animal then comes in contact with or is consumed by a human, the virus could potentially infect them. And if the virus then spreads to other humans, it causes an outbreak.
A lot of people are saying that it came from bats.
It's very likely that this virus has come from bats.
Bats have lots of viruses. Very few of these viruses actually make them sick.
Bats are not a villain.
Some people have said pangolins.
This is the pangolin, an incredible eater of ants covered head to toe in scales, and the most heavily poached animal in the world.
They said that it came from bats and then to pangolins and then to humans. Over there in China, they eat bats for exotic purposes.
Can I ask, how long have you been working in here doing this?
30 years.
30 years. So people can just come up here, chop off a piece and take it home, huh?
Yes.
You're selling python, you're selling boar, just those two?
Sometimes they have monkey.
And they eat pangolins for sacred or religious purposes.
This animal is endangered. The biggest reason on why they are endangered is because they are a luxurious food for many Asian people, but especially for the Japanese. They eat pangolins.
They need to stop letting them eat that shit.
So they do.
That is nasty.
They need to regulate things like that.
So what do these markets have to do with the coronavirus outbreak? And why is it happening in China? It's a wet market. kind of place where live animals are slaughtered and sold for consumption. Wet markets are scattered all over the world, but the ones in China are particularly well known because they offer a wide variety of animals, including wildlife. This is a sample menu reportedly from the market in Wuhan. These animals are from all over the world, and each one has the potential to carry its own viruses to the market. The reason all these animals are in the same market is because of a decision China's government made decades ago. Back in the 1970s, China was falling apart. Famine had killed more than 36 million people, and the communist regime, which controlled all food production, was failing to feed its more than 900 million people. In 1978, on the verge of collapse, the regime gave up this control and allowed private farming. While large companies increasingly dominated the production of popular foods like pork and poultry, some smaller farmers turned to catching and raising wild animals as a way to sustain themselves.
At the very beginning, it was mostly peasant household backyard operation of turtles, for example. That's how wildlife farming started to get off the ground.
And since it started to feed and sustain people, the Chinese government backed it.
So it was imperative for the government to encourage people to, to make a living through whatever productive activities they can find themselves in. You can lift yourself out of poverty. No matter what you are doing, that's okay.
But then in 1988, the government made a decision that changed the shape of wildlife trade in China. They enacted the Wildlife Protection Law, which designated the animals as resources owned by the state and protected people engaged in the utilization of wildlife resources.
That's one of the most devastating problems of the law, because if you designate the wildlife as a natural resource, that means it is something you can use for human benefits.
The law also encouraged the domestication and breeding of wildlife, and with that, an industry was born. Small local farms turned into industrial-sized operations. For example, this bear farm started with just 3 and eventually grew to more than 1,000 bears. Bigger populations meant greater chances that a sick animal could spread disease. Farmers were also raising a wide variety of animals, which meant
that's why over here in the United States it's difficult to get certain types of meat, because you have to have certifications, regulations, and different types of ethics, morals, and cleanliness habits in order to give people certain types of food here.
So it's an expensive food.
Right. It's definitely, it's not a normal food that they eat over there, you know. So it's something that they serve far and few in between like that. There's a YouTube video. We will post a snippet of that where they actually were eating fruit bats. They were roasting the fruit bat. So it's typical that they eat those things in very rural areas. And
that's ridiculous.
So just because you don't have symptoms does not mean that you don't have coronavirus. Right. You have to understand that everybody's immune system is different. Everybody's not going to display a fever, a cough, or whatever the case may be. So you could be passing on coronavirus and not even have symptoms. Which if you don't have symptoms, you're not going to go get tested. So there's nothing you can do about that, which is why we're under isolation or social distancing. All of those things are necessary because a lot of people are walking around with coronavirus and don't even know it.
Jesus, that's scary, y'all. That's scary. We were going to make a video of you making hand sanitizer.
Yeah, DIY hand sanitizer.
Unfortunately, we went to the store and
they don't have the supplies, to do so.
Hey y'all, I know I look basic and a mess today, but I'm about to go to Target to get some things to do, he's in the background, to make our own hand sanitizer because they have sold out. You guys can just watch to figure out how.
I would go to the store too, but
it's just best for them to stay home with all this coronavirus stuff going on.
And I'm working on a video.
So, and we're working at home.
Video, guys. I'm trying to edit this housewife video. So that's another reason why I'm staying home. But I'm also paranoid about this corona shit.
Yeah, we don't have time. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I'm gonna go to Target and I'm gonna film as much as possible, as much as I remember. Please, this is a first for us, y'all. But we're vlogging this. Hopefully you guys can get something out of it.
Hopefully you guys watch. My cheeks are getting fat.
Yours. Look at my face. I mean, the camera adds 10 pounds, so like take down my double chin and... I'm about to be on my way to Target so that I can get all of the necessary things for us to do this hand sanitizer. Okay. Almost at Target. Almost.
It looks like
Target, like Medea say, Target. We at the Target. Let me not go ahead and spend too much money, y'all, because I go ahead and spend too much money. Too much money, too much money, too much money. Entrego.
So we're able to get supplies that we need, but not supplies to make.
Exactly.
To make it or create it. The aloe was gone.
Yes.
All that stuff was gone.
You can make your own disinfectant wipes. If you have Lysol concentrate, that's the same chemical that they use in disinfectant wipes. You know, you take you a few tablespoons of that, mix it with some water, put you some baby wipes in that solution, and it will make them disinfectant wipes if you can't find them.
Live Nation has postponed all of their concerts.
Yes.
Right?
And tours. Yes.
And tours. And that's not the only people that have postponed or canceled things.
Yes.
All these TV shows canceled.
All the TV shows that have canceled.
Jimmy Kimmel, Wendy Williams.
Wendy, yes. The Stellar Awards have been canceled.
Right. The Gospel Stellar Awards. NFL practices and NBA practices.
And the games. They're starting to cancel games. Rickey Smiley just said that they were going to isolate certain games for March Madness in states that did not have outbreaks. But now it's reached all 50 states, so we don't know how they're going to get around that.
Exactly.
Broadway shows have been canceled. The ATL, the Atlanta Housewives reunion, has been postponed indefinitely. Andy Cohen actually said that a Skype reunion was in the talks. But Andy, please don't do that.
Don't do that.
We don't want a Skype reunion.
We don't want that.
I know
Just
he said that. He said that a Skype
and
reunion is better than no reunion, which is true. But please, we will wait.
I get what he's saying, because if this lasts too long, it'll be time to film again.
Exactly. And Wendy canceled her production completely.
Yep. Wendy was coming in with her staff members at first,
in the audience.
as the audience.
Thank you for watching my show. Studio audience. Well, welcome my staff and co-workers, otherwise known as my co-host, until Corona can be conducted properly.
But she ended up canceling that completely. I don't understand what made her cancel that, but one of her workers did live right at the coronavirus line.
The initial.
You were stopped by the news?
Yes, this morning at New Rochelle train station, because that's where I live, New Rochelle. I'm also about 2.2 miles from the zone, the 1 mile zone.
Right, in New Rochelle. But do you know that
if you guys knew that there was a hot spot, right, in New Rochelle, there was a hot spot initially when the outbreak happened here, because the lawyer that was in New York contracted coronavirus from coming in contact with someone from Wuhan, and then he brought it to his child. His child got sick and went to school, got all their children sick, and we actually know someone whose child went to that school and lives up there and got sick.
Exactly, in Westchester. Amazon also cancellation. Amazon has said stop all shipments except for medical supplies. So
and
that's
groceries.
a good thing. Oh, and groceries. I know a lot of people are pissed because y'all was about to get a waist trainer, y'all was about to get damn nail polish, all the bullshit.
Girl, this is some plastic wrap. They probably still got that at the store. Ain't nobody get shit. I don't know, because Rickey Smiley showed up to work with a makeshift hazmat suit.
I know, he a damn fool with this damn all this shit.
Coming in contact with this disease or not, and that's why we having this show. If you get on a plane, I need y'all to wipe down every single thing, the tray table. You make sure you keep that mask on your face. If you have a cough, you don't want to infect anybody.
I see his son, but she don't look inside.
I mean, Erykah Badu is different than Serena. You know, he dated both of them.
Wow.
Different things that they like about women. So.
Well, he shouldn't do that.
Hey, what up, Vic? I'm in quarantine.
I can't stop. You be killing that breath. Y'all, Rickey Smiley done put on the whole 9 y'all.
Plastic wrap, he got on.
I'm talking about every day it got worse.
What? And then put plastic wrap all over the damn studio.
Exactly.
All over on the studio equipment.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of Rickey Smiley, I had an issue with him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make this quick because the issue has been resolved.
It's been resolved.
It's been resolved.
Miss Jane, we just trying to resolve. We just trying to get y'all back together.
It's been resolved.
Miss Jane A.
Ricky, no,
yeah.
Miss Jane, we love you. We
Miss
just
Jane,
talking
yeah, we
fun.
do. But Ricky actually, he said something that really upset me about Charlie Sheen. And they were talking about the Zaya situation, and what he said was something that was not facts.
I'm not judging them because to each his own. It's Dwayne Wade's house, and he get to choose and do whatever he wants to do. You know, if your child was gay, or whatever, and you already know. You already know. If you got a little girl that's 12 years old, she can slang a football 100 yards. And she don't look right in a limited 2 dress on and stuff or whatever. You know, cause I've seen it before. But
and my whole point of it was, you are on the radio to millions of Americans,
His
millions
influence
of
can
people.
definitely cause people to think
and
a certain type
his
of way.
influence can continue ignorance. And what he said was, he was talking about Gail and Oprah situation. Right. And he said, they sure ain't go in on that that one that said he got AIDS, that white actor that said he got AIDS.
Right.
And it just seemed like you and Oprah Winfrey just had this thing against black men, and that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Now you ain't said nothing to Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
Nope.
You ain't said nothing to none of the white dudes that had sex. You ain't said nothing about what's his name who got AIDS. The man that got AIDS, they got the sitcom. The funny
Charlie Sheen.
You ain't said nothing about Charlie Sheen. You know, and you ain't said nothing about them. But you want to talk about Russell Simmons, and now you want to talk about Kobe, and this man ain't even buried yet.
And my whole point was, he never said he had AIDS.
Not even on the verge of having AIDS, have we heard. So we can't, nobody can make that assumption.
So all I was saying was, AIDS and HIV are 2 different things. They run in the same boat, but they are 2 different sicknesses.
AIDS
one is a
means you're
virus,
dying.
one is a disease.
HIV, you could be perfectly healthy.
Right. So I just didn't want him to continue the ignorance of black, white, Indian, Chinese, whoever out there that's listening that thinks that HIV and AIDS is the same thing. Don't touch me, honey. You finna die. You sick? No. Don't continue that, and don't say it in such a way like you mad. Also, he was saying Zaya. If Zaya was 12 years old and a girl, even if it was a girl, he wouldn't be wearing all at the top of my house.
And I don't know.
What don't you know? Okay.
No, it's good.
You love your child unconditionally.
You know what's saying?
Yeah.
Everybody's scared
it's just
to
a difficult
get their opinion because it's Dave. Okay, I'm done. Never
cut. Yep, you too. Yep. So just let it go.
My thing here's about the stuff. Now they got the baby up here. They take a family picture. The baby up here, 12 years old with
the acrylic nails
and a halter top shirt on. Now, be what you want to be, but the question is, if that boy was a real little girl, is it appropriate? Because my 12-year-old daughter wouldn't have on no halter top and no acrylic nails. My 12-year-old girl. Right. Because they got plenty of time for that. Now, why you got to march that out in front of everybody, and that's still a child? This is me. Now, you can get mad at me, and the LGBT community can attack me or whatever and say whatever they want to say, but I'm just talking about just as a parent. You got to use a certain amount of discretion, and it almost feels like exploitation to a child's sexuality.
Which I understood that, and I apologize about that because I jumped the gun with that. People can have their opinion about that. So I did jump the gun and kind of got my emotions involved in that.
Her surgery,
right, he can have his opinion about that. I don't agree with his opinion because that boy can be what that boy want to be, and we ain't gonna even get in that because that's another story for a whole nother day. After we do some studying and we can bring y'all facts about science and why this boy is so young and already know what he want to do.
Now, be what you want to be, and people who gonna be who they want to be, and sometimes this stuff is genetic, sometimes is low testosterone. That was explained to me by a doctor. The reason why some people are the way they are. However, we're not telling you you can't be who you are. Then you could be that in private. But
we ain't gonna even talk about that and get too in depth in it until we can get real facts to bring to y'all.
Exactly.
But I don't agree with Rickey. I do think that Rickey is stuck in this old folks type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? That he need to get out of, like this old church mindset that is just it's over with. Like, come on, children nowadays want to speak up. He said we ain't gonna talk about that because you too young to be talking about that.
But if my son was gay, while you're a child, remain in a child's place. Be who you are. Then when you get old enough, you get to be whoever you want to be. And I still love you and support you. So where do we draw the line?
Wow.
You can't say that. That's the problem why kids kill themselves. They killing themselves because they can't talk to their black mom and their black daddy about what's going on. You get what I'm saying? So Rickey, you are a part of that what is it, stigma? You are part of that right. We ain't gonna talk, push that in the back burner. You better be worried about them books.
Right.
And then Eva got a nerve to shake her head when he said he could get in college and turn. He might want some cootie cat.
Some punani.
Right, when he get in college. And Eva from Housewives
even if
of Atlanta,
he does, that would not make
her head.
Let me tell you something,
I think that was just
even if he did decide that he wanted some cootie cat,
that ain't gonna change that he like that.
Gender identity and sexual orientation are two different things. Gender identity is who you go to bed as. The sexual orientation is who you go to bed with. And somebody who was on TS's show gave that analogy, and I do agree with that heavily. That was just a short, sweet way to say, just because I call myself a girl don't mean I can't like girls. He might decide to be a bisexual girl.
Right.
He might decide to be a gay girl. Look at Bruce Jenner turned into
exactly, but she dating a girl right now.
A girl. So that's a gay woman. That's not because she like men.
She a weird bitch.
So, but it doesn't matter. People can like what they like. That's what I'm saying.
I also wanted to add about the Rickey Smiley situation that Rickey Smiley did come on my Facebook, comment back to me, kind of gave me a little bit of an argument, but eventually apologized that he might have said the wrong thing and didn't have facts, and he just wanted to settle this and wanted to continue to have us as fans.
Right.
So that was very big of Rickey Smiley to apologize, and we appreciate that, Rickey. But do not continue to be ignorant, and don't let that ignorance continue, Gary and Eva, because y'all are supposed to be advocates of the gay community. Brat, we don't know what she is.
Really?
Anyway.
The ignorance continues with our president when he gave a tweet about the coronavirus that said that it was the China virus. And then the follow-up from our president was a Chinese official overheard the White House executives talking about coronavirus and saying that it was the Kung flu. The Kung flu.
Don't do that.
COVID-19. I said, what's the 19? COVID-19. Some people can't explain what the 19. Give me the COVID-19. I said, that's an odd name. It's got all different names. Coronavirus, right? Wuhan. Kung flu, yeah. Kung flu. Some people call it the Chinese flu, the China flu, right? They call it the China as opposed to the China. I never see anything like it. I could give you many, many names.
No way.
He did that on purpose. Because y'all know the white folks evil.
Now listen, it's derogatory.
Listen,
it was funny. I'm sorry, I laughed. Only because it's funny, but it's derogatory. They knew that they were poking fun at, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I still laugh at the fag jokes from Eddie Murphy and everybody else.
I did jokes about homosexuals about a couple years ago, and faggots were mad. They were like, it's nothing like having a nation of fags looking for you. I'd be at parties, there's always 2 or 3 homosexuals at a party, they'd be standing around looking at you, they'd be looking at it. He's an asshole.
The shit is funny, but it could still be deemed derogatory.
With his dumb ass, that was shade. That was some good shade, though. It was really good.
It was funny.
It was funny. It was. It's one of those moments where you want to say,
"Oh damn, I'm going to hell for laughing." Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of those you're
going to hell for laughing about that.
But I mean, it was funny. It was funny.
Guess what, bitch? Coronavirus! Coronavirus! I'm telling you, shit is real. Shit is getting real. Woo! Bitch, I'm scared.
Coronavirus. getting real.
Exactly. And that's crazy because Cardi's song has blown up, right?
Right. That boy actually the DJ actually took the song and made a remix out of it and contacted Cardi's team in order to make it a real song. It's on the iTunes charts right now. It's charting.
And I think that that's amazing. Okay, so Portia posted, the first person that I seen post this video was Portia. Portia posted a disgusting ass video of sick people. Well, they look sick, and in the time that we are in right now, it makes you think that.
Hello, good evening or good morning. I want you to share this video to anybody you know. This happened in China. This is a lady who went to the hospital and they diagnosed her of the coronavirus. Now she is going back home. She got into a lifter, a public lifter. She started spitting the virus on the lifter button. So please watch it carefully. You have to be careful the way you use public things nowadays because the world is wicked. People are so wicked. Just watch what the lady is doing. Watch the video carefully. Now people coming into the lifter, and once they come into the lifter, automatically you must touch the button to the floor you're going to. So you see how they distribute the virus. That is why the virus is spreading so fast, because demonic agents are at work. Okay, now she stays into the lifter because she wants to really pollute the place with the virus. See, she keeps spitting on the door, spitting. She keeps spitting around. Watch carefully. Now this is another old man who came up with the virus. See how he will spit on the lifter button. Then he will spit on his hands. See, he spit on his hand. He rubbed it on the buttons of the lifter. Just watch. You see? Yeah. This is how they distribute the virus.
But I was thinking the video could be from 5 years ago or some shit. We never even know. And it just fits for the time today.
Now, I will say that because there are a lot of people out here who try to stem negativity out of thin air. You know, it could have been somebody.
But let's just think that it was in this day and time and what's going on today.
The inference was.
Right. People were spitting on their hands. And y'all see the video. Like, I find that so disgusting. Spitting on your hands, rubbing it on the elevator buttons.
Child, we disinfect in our elevator every day. We go out and touch the shit up.
Come on, like, I think that's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Italy is issuing a warning that if you are corona positive, and knowingly spread the virus to people, like if you go out after quarantine or after curfew hours, then you will be prosecuted, much like they have done for people with HIV. That if you know that you have HIV and you give it to somebody else and they die, they can charge you with malice murder, is what they've said. They can also charge you with assault if the person doesn't die and they still contract coronavirus from you. So it's getting pretty heavy around the world, you guys. It's best to just stay at home and, like, if only for necessity. If you're on your way to the grocery store, make sure you got your list with you or something to prove I'm getting groceries, honey. I'm trying to live, not die. So just
that's true.
Keep it together. We don't want no martial law.
But you know what? It's getting crazy out there in Italy, and I just think that people better get it together. And this is a time to pray.
Yes,
just pray. That's all I gotta say.
Every day,
pray.
Every day.
Seriously.
But anyways,
Chinese people have been on the news crying, telling their stories because when this virus first started, people cut out Chinese foods out of their diet.
Bitch,
nobody didn't want no rats and shit.
New at noon, hateful coronavirus vandalism at a Chinese restaurant in New Jersey. The owner arrived to discover that someone spray painted nasty messages all over the building and the sidewalk.
Business has slowed to a trickle since coronavirus hit the news.
My business is down by 70%. We suffer the most.
Other restaurants are also struggling and have reduced their trading hours.
So we've had no human-to-human transmission yet.
In these chilly winter months, Chinese restaurants in the tri-state should be plating their delicious dishes the most. But the tables are far from bustling with customers. In fact, Hunan Village 2 in the hamlet of Hartsdale hardly has any business.
It's really bad. Empty. Because not only me, the whole block.
Gloria Chang.
And
Corona beer came on the TV the other day. I said, what the y'all advertising?
Yeah, they're getting hit hard, Corona beer and Chinese restaurants, because people are blaming them for the Corona.
You know, we are all in a time where people are saying, oh, it's coming from Chinese people, so it must originate from them.
Exactly.
It originated from China. Okay. Leaders of a lot of different countries have tested positive for coronavirus. The leader of Israel, one of the leaders of Israel, he was
and the one in Iran who tried to downplay it.
Oh, yeah,
and he ended up coughing on camera while downplaying it.
Yeah.
و یا در 2-3 روز آینده مستقر خواهد شد. در مورد قرنطینه ما به هیچ وجه وبا و اینجور چیز از خود چینی ها الان از این قرنطینه‌ای که انجام شده خیلی راضی نیستن.
نوبت آرش هست. قبل از اینکه آرش سوالش رو بپرسه من این نکته رو تاکید بکنم. افرادی که مسئول هستند در این زمینه این تعهد هیچ کمگویی از اتفاقاتی که رخ داده صورت نگیره. داوود جنوالی هم بفرمایید. بعد جنوالی عرض کردم بعد ایشون دیگه تمام. هم هستیم. ویدیو کنفرانس‌های خبری مجددا بتونیم همینجوری برگزار بکنیم.
شمس‌الدینی هستم از تلویزیون گلی کردستان اقلیم کردستان عراق. می‌خواستم
اما وزارت بهداشت و درمان ما به خصوص
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. متشکرم هستم که این فرصت دادید.
Justin Trudeau
and his wife.
Oh yeah, and his wife.
Well, his wife has tested positive. They're testing Justin Trudeau. They haven't released his test results. Italian officials have tested positive for coronavirus, and the Pope was showing symptoms of coronavirus. They canceled mass for 3 weeks, and he did it from the balcony. You know, he's
And Trump is a big ass liar because they're saying that he doesn't have it, but came in contact with the Brazilian president and all these Brazilian officials.
Justin Trudeau's wife, he took a picture with,
and he doesn't have it supposedly. So we'll see.
A lot of celebrities as well have tested positive. Idris Elba, Heidi Klum,
and her husband.
They were kissing through a window, waiting up results just to make sure that if one of them did and one of them didn't, they didn't give it to the other.
Exactly. And, Tom Hanks and his wife as well, and a few basketball players.
Kevin Durant.
With their finance. Oh yeah, Kevin Durant.
Yeah. One of them actually said that he wished that he would have taken it more serious. He was definitely downplaying it and thought that it wasn't going to be him. He wasn't going to get that sick, and now he's at one of the sickest times in his life, and he wishes that he would have taken it.
I forgot what that basketball player name was. Also, Rudy Gobert was the first NBA player found to have coronavirus, and I think he
during his exit interview.
What did he do? Right,
he started touching all over the mics.
He sure did.
Thank you.
And it was
from the Utah Jazz, right?
It was a jokeable moment for him, but it's not really funny.
It wasn't funny.
You know,
it wasn't funny
we know that they had to disinfect and sanitize that entire area when you left, but don't make it more difficult for the people taking their microphones home. And you already do have coronavirus.
He touched over all the mics.
The mic covers.
And the mic covers. Where the mouth is. Not and the buttons actually. He touched down on the buttons too. I don't understand, but I definitely think he knew he had it and was trying to play a joke. But nobody at that time knew but him, I think. And I don't think it was a funny joke. I think it was a serious joke. Like a joke like shit. If I got it, y'all gonna have it too.
Right.
Everybody that's gonna walk through here. But no, that wasn't cute. It wasn't funny. But you are fine as fuck. And you can drop.
We're not putting that in. That's going to be bleeped. I'm like, we're not putting that in there. But let me tell you, the people that are most susceptible to the coronavirus are elderly and immune compromised people, are the people that are most at risk for coronavirus infection. And let's just make a note that the government and down in Wall Street and in Washington, D.C., most of those people are elderly. Trump is 73, Mike Pence is 60, Mitch McConnell is 78, Joe Biden is 77, Bernie Sanders is 78, Maxine Waters is 81, Lindsey Graham is 64, Barack Obama is 58.
But they'll do fine because they got that famous ass doctor over there on the hill.
At the October 13th, 1988 presidential debate, George H.W. Bush were asked,
who are the heroes who are there in American life today? Who are the ones that you would point out to young Americans as figures who should inspire this country?
Those people that took us back into space again.
Vice President Bush eventually responded with,
I think of Dr. Fauci. Probably never heard of him. He's a very fine research top doctor at National Institute of Health, working hard doing something about research on this disease of AIDS.
Today, Dr. Anthony S. Fauci. In the U.S., he's one of the most recognizable faces in the current crisis, one of the most visible medical experts on the pandemic today.
Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, thank you so much for taking the time.
Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Who's going to give them the vaccine first?
Well, that may be true, but my point is that they're all saying that elderly people are dying from this disease, from this sickness, and we have elderly people running our country. So if they all catch and contract coronavirus, God forbid,
they're not going to all die.
Kick shit and die.
Not Maxine, because she going to reclaim her time.
I did not get a response to the letter that I sent May 23rd.
Ranking Member Waters, first of all, let me thank you for your service to California, being a resident of California.
Thank you very much.
For the community there.
I don't want to take my time.
I also have appreciated the opportunity to meet with you
my time.
several times
Reclaiming my time.
when we were doing our
Reclaiming my time.
The time belongs to the gentlelady from California.
I don't want to waste my time on me. I want to know about the May 23rd letter. You know about it? Why did you not respond to me and my colleagues?
I was going to answer that.
Just please go straight to the answer.
Mr. Chairman, I thought when you read the rules, you acknowledged that I shouldn't be interrupted.
Reclaiming my time. What he failed to tell you was when you're on my time, I can reclaim it.
Gonna reclaim her time, baby.
But I get what you're saying. It is kind of scary that it's attacking the elderly mostly, and it's really not. You know, that is sad. Speaking of all of these politicians, so they have found a vaccination.
Hey, you guys, this is part 2.
Unfortunately, the video was a little bit too long, so we had to post a part 2.
Right.